Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start first chapter of civics book, Power Sharing. Dear students, in this chapter we will cover so many topics like meaning of power sharing, ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka, Belgium model, why power sharing is desirable, forms of power sharing. So these all topics we will cover in this chapter, but today we will discuss only the meaning of power sharing and ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka. So let's start with the meaning of power sharing. Power sharing means equal division of powers. It may be at the level of government, it may be among different social groups or at the organs of the government. It is very clear that powers should not rest with any one religion or people of any one community. It should be shared equally. So I think you all clear the meaning of power sharing. Once again, equal distribution of powers among different social group or at the level of the government or among different organs of the government. After meaning, there is a case study of Belgium and the case study of Sri Lanka regarding the ethnic composition. What happened there in both the nations, Belgium and Sri Lanka, before power sharing? When power sharing was not there in Belgium and Sri Lanka, how people survived? Was there any dispute? Was there any controversies between two communities or amongst people? So let's start with the ethnic composition of Belgium. What happened there before power sharing? Start with general information about this country. Belgium is a very small country, lies in Europe. It connected with three nations of European continent, means three neighboring countries were there: France, Netherlands and Germany. It has population of 1 crore. But how the society of Belgium divided? Social groups, you can see there were three regions, three main areas: Flemish region, Wallonia region, and the area of German speakers. And the last one is, it is capital city. So start with Flemish. Dutch majority was there. 59% population were speaking Dutch in this particular area, this particular region, that is Flemish. And the second reason is Wallonia, majority of French speakers. 40% people were speaking French language in Wallonia. And the third part, German speaker area. It is of 1% only. It means who were in majority? It is very clear. It is very clear. Dutch speakers. They were in majority. But in capital city, just reversal condition is there. You may see in this slide. In capital city Brussels, 80% people were speaking French language. But in above 3 region, there were Dutch speakers. They were in majority. But in capital city Brussels, just reversal condition is there. 80% people are speaking French language, and the rest were speaking Dutch. So this was the ethnic composition of Belgium. But what was the controversy there? One complication was there, dispute or controversy was there between these two major community. First one Dutch and second one French. So minority French speaking community was relatively rich and powerful compared to Dutch people. But later people of Dutch community also got some benefits, especially in the field of education and and in the field of economy. This thing laid tension between these two community, French and Dutch, in 50 to 60. So this was the problem. This was the condition of entire Belgium before power sharing. So this is all about Belgium. This is the first case study of Belgium. You should know what happened before the implementation of power sharing. Why power sharing is most important for each and every democratic nation. This we are going to discuss in. So there was no equal distribution of power. It is very clear by studying this case study. The same second case study, ethnic composition in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, it is island nation with population of about 2 crore. Two major communities were there, Sinhala speakers and Tamil speakers. These are the two main communities. 74% of the population belongs to Sinhala and 18% they were Tamil speakers. In slide you can see Tamil speakers are further classified into two categories. First is Sri Lankan Tamils, and in percentage it is 13%, and the second it is Indian Tamils, and in percentage it is 5%. Who were Indian Tamils? Indian Tamils were those who came from India, whose forefathers came from India and settled there. And main religion of Sinhala speakers, they practiced the teachings of Buddhism. But Tamil speakers were Hindus and Muslims. And the minority community, next third community in Sri Lanka, it is Christian, it is of 7%, who are both Sinhala and Tamils. So this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Next, if we talk about the form of government in Sri Lanka, we can say rule of one community was there. Rule of majority community was there, and that type of rule is called majoritarianism. A word is there on top, majoritarianism means rule of one community. Whatever they need, they will implement. They will make rules and regulations according to their wishes. So they made, means Sri Lankan government made rules and regulations to favor single community, majority community. And who were in majority? Sinhala. Her Miss Government made an act in the year 1956 to favor Sinhala community. It is very important question. What kind of provisions Sri Lankan government made in the Act 1956? One, Sinhalese became the official language of Sri Lanka instead of Tamil. Means they ignored Tamil language. They gave importance to Sinhalese. This was the first provision. Number two, they made preferential policy. They gave preference to the students of the people of Sinhala community, maybe in the jobs or maybe in the politics or in other sector. Third one, government promoted or protected single religion, and that was Buddhism. So these three provisions you can see under the Act 1956 made by Sri Lankan government. So these were the steps taken by the Sri Lankan government to favor one community, Sinhala. That's all for today. Next slides we will discuss later. You all are requested to make notes of these. You may refer NCERT books and this slide also. Thank you and have a nice day.